This is Alba Beach in Suffolk. It's acrylic on canvas, and it's a bigger scale of what I do. But I have painted a lot bigger for commissions, but this is pretty much as big as I can get in the car or on the roof anyway. Over here on this wall, I've put 3 examples of different sort of periods of work. This one here, the boat on its side, was from I think 1999. Unfortunately, the frame's getting a bit dirty now. But that's when right at the beginning of when I started, and I was working as a builder at the time, and I was doing other paintings to sort of try and, or I was getting into it as a sort of hobby, and then started selling pictures. But I kept hold of that because I liked it. And then about 10 years later, I started, or 5 to 10 years later, I started doing more work with acrylic, which is one of my preferred choices. And this is a local scene of a Buxton walk, I suppose you'd call it, or a meadow view. This is something I quite like. It's a picture of the Forum, which reminds me of my sort of architectural days, because I did architecture at university. By looking at this wall, I think you might have kind of guessed that I like painting beaches. I was brought up on the North Norfolk coast, and lived in Burnham Market with my family, and went to Wells School. And kind of the beaches and the sea is kind of what I experienced for the first 20 years of my life, until we moved inland to, actually not then, but anyway, until we moved into sort of this area of the county, which is just outside Norwich, as you know, near Aylsham. But anyway, there's small oils, and I think that's an acrylic from probably about 10 years ago. That's Branksome Beach. I think probably most of this now was washed away in a storm, but again, it's a picture I held on to, because I just sort of, sometimes you just like a particular picture and you think, oh no, you might have learnt something. You know, for there it was, the clouds started to develop, and I just thought I liked the way I sort of, you know, it was captured, and I kind of trying to learn from my own sort of experiments, I suppose. And finally, this little one is a plein air picture. Most of the smaller ones tend to be plein air, but this, I think, I remember doing that one. It was just sort of Cromer Beach, and trying to experiment with palette knives and things like that, trying something new. Right, so you've had a quick look around the studio and seen some of the sort of the work of the walls. The one thing I particularly like about Open Studios, and when I get out and see them myself, is to go through the work that's piled up. And quite often you find things which are sometimes more interesting than the things the artist actually wants to show you. But this is just a small selection of stuff which is plein air work, which I have lying around, so to speak. This is an oil from Whitlingham Lake. This was done during the Paint Out Festival at Norwich, Paint Out Norfolk, which I think hopefully you might have heard of. Again, that was said Wells Beach, just said that. We've got some nocturnal work. That's a cathedral, and that's a picture down, I think, Magdalen Street, which is not somewhere you naturally associate with as sort of painting things, but it's sometimes good to try places you wouldn't normally see an artist like. You know, Branksome Beach is an obvious one, but Magdalen Street is somewhere, you know, trying to get people walking and the effects of the rain and stuff. And finally, that's a sort of a picture done from a walk just down here, down by the River Bure. Quite often, well, in normal conditions, you'd go there a couple of times a day with the dog. At the moment, you can't. But you might go down, the light's good, you think, great, and you zip back with your easel and quickly draw something. So, as I said earlier, what I particularly like is Open Studios, and I miss, but I'll look forward to doing it in October, or later in the year, hopefully, when this runs, is going through people's work and asking about it. So now I've showed you around the studio and talked about a few things that are part of my artistic life. Now I hope you don't mind, but I just want to do a quick slideshow and talk about some of my work. This is Holcombe Beach. This is a more impressionist view, a hot summer's day. This is a plein air local view of the River Bure. This was done at Paint Out Cambridge, some figures under the trees on a hot summer's day. This is an oil of Holcombe Beach, and the same for Blakeney Harbour. And finally a small plein air picture done with palette knife. So I hope you liked some of the work you just saw, and when the Open Studios is up and running again, I hope you find time to come round and see the studio. So I'm in Buxton, just outside Aylsham. So thank you for watching, and sorry to do this, but I just want to add a few more things. Please try the YouTube channel if you can. It's Art Relief with Tom Cringle, and you can find details on Facebook, which I think is called Art Relief itself. Also, you can find me on Facebook, Tom Cringle Art, and also my website is www.tomcringle.co.uk, and that gives you details of my art, tutoring, and other projects I'm working on. I hope you're all safe, and this passes and you can get back to some form of normality. Have a good summer, and hopefully see you soon. Take care. Bye.